It's like I said before, I don't think that time in itself is particularly difficult. We can all read the time, and I think we can adjust our watches depending on which country we go to, and add an hour takeaway or whatever. But some of these questions can be a little bit horrible. There's a lot to them, so I do think, in that respect, I find it a slightly harder topic. So maybe it's something you want to leave to the end. Certainly something like this, there's an awful lot in that. So, I would be doing other questions first. Hopefully, we get a nice, easy one. But anyway, let's go through and see what we get. Like I said, we'll do some sketches and hopefully that will help. So, after a meeting in Beijing, Jen leaves home to London via Amsterdam. So, she's gone from, she's gone from Beijing and she flies home to London via Amsterdam. Okay. The plane leaves Beijing at 12:15 on the 3rd of Feb. So, we'll see if that's, I'll put the third in brackets. And that's local time for them. So I've used this and this. The plane lands in Amsterdam on the 3rd of Feb, so we're still on the 3rd of Feb, at 1800 hours. Local time, still the 3rd, that's okay. Beijing is 7 hours ahead of Amsterdam. Okay, so Beijing, they're 7 hours ahead of Amsterdam. So when we land at the local time here, if they're 7 hours ahead of these guys, I think if I want to put that into Beijing time, I will add 7. Clues in the name, isn't it? Beijing is 7 hours ahead, so I'm going to add 7 to that. I think this is where the dates are coming into it. So 18 plus 7, that's going to take me into the next day, because 18 plus 7 is 25. So that's going to give me 0, 1, 0, 0. I'm just going to maybe put that in red, so I know that's Chinese time, maybe actually Beijing time. So that's 0, 1, and that one will be the 4th one, and that'll be the 4th one. So I've now used that. Nice one. Calculate the time taken for Jennifer's flight from Beijing to Amsterdam. Give your answer in hours and minutes. Okay, so that was the first bit was putting into that time. So 12:15. If we add on 12 hours, so I'll do this in green. If we add on 12 hours, it gets to. In fact, I'll add on 45 minutes. That's what I'll do. Plus 45 minutes takes me to 1300 hours. And then if I add on, I'll draw that just slightly differently. So add on 45 minutes, I get to 1300. And then to get to the 1 o'clock, I'm adding on 12 hours. So for this one, it's 12 hours and 45 minutes. So that, and again, just doing it in stages. So that's nice. On landing, Jennifer's phone tells her the time and date in the following cities. So she's landed in Amsterdam at 6 local time, 1 o'clock Beijing time, and that is all the different times in the world, okay? Jen plans to, this is where it gets really complicated, Jen plans to phone her brother as soon as she gets home. She will arrive home in London at 23:15 local time. So she's going to get to London at 23:15. Let's do this in blue. Okay. Her brother lives in Miami and arrives home from work at 1700. So in Miami, her brother is going to arrive home at 1700. So they're, we're looking at them at the kind of same point in time. So I'm putting them on top of each other. So she'll arrive home at that time. Okay, her brother lives in Miami. Okay, determine whether her brother will be home from work when Jen makes the phone call. So she's going to phone her brother as soon as he gets home, and she'll arrive back at this time. Okay, so we need to kind of look at the different time differences then, don't we? So Amsterdam and London. So this says to me that Amsterdam is 1 hour ahead of London. And so Amsterdam, that's +1 compared to London. And this tells me that Miami is 3 hours behind London. So I'm thinking not 3. The difference between that's going to be 5. Oops, sorry, 5 hours. 5 hours behind. I'm not. You kind of transferring it into the other time. I'm thinking on 12 And between 12 and 5 is obviously 5 hours to not getting 3 from. So yeah. Now at this point, I don't even need to know about. I thought we might have to transfer something with this, and we don't. We don't actually need any of this. All we're looking for, and this is why questions are very hard because they give you all this information and you're trying to make sense of it. All this is saying is that Miami is 5 hours behind London. So if I want to transfer the local London time into Miami time, I'm just going to take away 5 hours. So for Miami time here, it'll be 23 take away 5. So it's like 11:15 at night, take away 5. That will be 6:15 or 18:15 Miami time because I'm taking away 5. So will the guy be home? Yeah, he'll be home. He got home at 5, so he'll be okay. So yes, as 18:15, it's after 1700. So quite a lot of information in that question, and actually not a huge amount doing, especially in the second bit. But wow, they're really making you to kind of pick out what you need to know. So yeah, a little sketch. Try and visualize it as best you can. On here, it's clear that Miami's 5 hours less than London, so take away 5, you get to Miami. Likewise, Miami or London 5 hours ahead of Miami. So if we added on 5 to this, we could have compared the times, you know. So we could have said that that's 10 a.m. 10 at night, London time. So that's okay. You know. But anyway, yeah, I hope that's helpful. We'll try the next one, and I think we'll call it. So Steve flew to Hong Kong to start a new job. So he's flown to Hong Kong. Good for Steve. And the flight included a stop in Doha, Qatar, fun. He flew from Edinburgh, okay, to Doha and then Doha to Hong Kong. Fair enough. So the flight from Edinburgh to Doha took 6 hours and 35 minutes. And the flight from Doha to Hong Kong, 7 hours and 20. Hong Kong is 8 hours ahead of Edinburgh. So Hong Kong is plus 8. Steve's plane took off at 9:15 local time. Okay, and it landed at Hong Kong at 8:50 a.m. local time as well. So that's still local and that's local, okay. How long was the stop in Doha? But let's think of our total travel time first of all. So the total travel was going to be 6 hours and 35 minutes plus the 7 hours and 20 minutes. So that's going to be 55 minutes, and 7 and 6 will give me 13 hours. So 13 hours, 55 is how long he should have been flying for. And let's have a look. I think now what I'd like to do is convert these between the right to get into the right time so I can compare them. So if they're 8 hours ahead, then if I take away 8, it's going to give me the Edinburgh time. So 8:50 is going to give me 0:50 a.m. and that's in Edinburgh time. And that's obviously Edinburgh time as well. So this is telling me that I've gone from 9:15 a.m. all the way through to 00:50 a.m. So let's try and add that. I'll pause this and rush ahead just because the time's running out. Okay, so according to me, it should have been 15 hours and 35 minutes he was flying for. The travel time was only 13:55. So the difference in those two times will then be how long he was stopped for. So 15 hours and 35 minutes. Take away 13 hours and 55 minutes. You can do this somehow however you want. I kind of count up from here to here, but that's going to give me 1 hour and 40 minutes. So just take your time to count up, add 5 minutes, that gets you to 14 hours, and then you add on 1 hour 35, So 1 hour and 40 minutes is how long he was stopped for. So not as bad as the other one, but still there's a wee bit in it. So look, if they're 8 hours ahead, we're taking away 8 hours. You're kind of doing the opposite if you think on that. But the little drawings really help, I think. So we did that question. We did the drawings for the other one. Some of them are going to be quite straightforward. Don't forget to count up with the time. And if you get a really horrible question, I'm sorry. So yeah, I hope that's